Today we're covering some of the biggest Shark Tank rejections that went on to become massive success stories, proving that the sharks can get it very wrong sometimes. Whether they were laughed out of the tank with zero offers or turned down deals that undervalued their vision, these entrepreneurs demonstrated their resilience and turned Shark Tank exposure into a launchpad for success. Coffee meets bagel. The Kang sisters, Aram, Dawoon, and Sue, walked into the Shark Tank seeking $500,000 for 5% of their dating website and app, Coffee Meets Bagel. What set their site apart from the other many dating sites was that their platform curated a limited number of potential love matches for the user through their mutual friends. The app allowed women to make the first move, powered by a proprietary machine learning algorithm, and linked to Facebook for easy setup. One of the sisters even met her boyfriend through the app. When asked about user numbers, the sisters refused to disclose them, prompting Mark Cuban to go out immediately. Despite this, they revealed impressive financials: $270,000 in sales of premium features over 5 months, with projections of $1 million by the end of the year and $10 million the following year. They had also raised $2.8 million in external funding, including an investment from a Match.com co-founder. However, despite the solid sales numbers, the business was not profitable. The sisters also revealed that they were each taking a $100,000 salary. This didn't sit well with the sharks. High customer acquisition costs and a lack of unique features led every shark to go out. Before the sisters left, Mark posed a hypothetical question, asking if they would sell the entire company for $30 million. The Kang sisters declined, insisting their app could one day rival the nearly billion-dollar Match.com. Mark respected their self-belief, but the sisters walked away without a deal. Despite the rejection, Coffee Meets Bagel continued to grow and distinguish itself from competitors by limiting the number of matches it offers during a 24-hour window. It marketed itself as a platform for serious daters, boasting a more curated, mature experience compared to other endless swiping apps. In February 2015, Coffee Meets Bagel secured $7.8 million in funding, then in May 2018, landed a $12 million Series B round of funding. Over time, the app added features like video messages and premium paid subscriptions. In February 2019, the company suffered a data breach that impacted over 6 million users, but they were able to recover. By December 2024, Coffee Meets Bagel was estimated to be worth $150 million, generating $36 million in annual revenue. While the company still keeps its user numbers private, it reportedly has 3 million paid users and remains popular in Southeast Asia, particularly in Singapore. A quick browse of the app's social media also suggests that it has successfully produced numerous long-term relationships and marriages all over the world. Proof Eyewear. Next, another sibling trio. Tanner, Brooks, and Taylor Dame entered the tank seeking $150,000 for 10% of their company Proof Eyewear. As third-generation wood product manufacturers, the brothers built Proof to continue their family's legacy, crafting frames from sustainable materials like wood and biodegradable acetate. Because each frame was handcrafted out of wood, the unique wood grain patterns meant no two frames were the same. The sharks were impressed to hear that the brand had already sold $433,000 worth of eyewear in its first year without any marketing budget and was on track to do $850,000 to $900,000 the following year. Celebrities like Beyonce, Snoop Dogg, and Kelly Rowland had been seen wearing the sunnies. The brothers now needed the sharks' funding to scale up and fulfill a large order from Pacific Sunwear. Damon agreed that wood was trending in fashion, but pointed out that Proof wasn't the only brand making wooden sunglasses. Lori passed due to her existing partnership with a major sunglasses company. Mark worried about their ability to meet demand and compete with larger brands, so he was also out. Damon appreciated that the brothers wanted to keep Proof out of big box stores like Costco and Walmart, but warned them,
"So all the cool brands are broke."
That left Kevin and Robert, who both offered $150,000 for 25% equity. Kevin's offer came with a royalty catch, $2.50 per pair until his investment was repaid, then dropping to $1 per pair. The brothers consulted with their father on the phone. Then a tearful Brooks returned and countered Robert's offer with $200,000 for 20%. Robert declined. No deal. Immediately after the episode aired, the traffic from Shark Tank viewers crashed the Proof Eyewear website after it got over 2 million hits. Sales tripled to $1.4 million, and the brothers were able to open a flagship retail store in their hometown, Boise, Idaho. As of July 2024, the company generates $8 million in annual revenue, distributes to 600 US stores, and sells in 20 countries worldwide. The company has also stood firm on its original principles of sustainability and giving back, donating a portion of their sales to an eye clinic in rural India, as well as planting 5 trees for every frame sold through the Eden Reforestation Project. Kodiak Cakes. Cameron Smith and Joel Clark, founders of Kodiak Cakes, entered the Shark Tank seeking $500,000 for 10% stake in their company. Their product, pancake and cake mixes made of 100% whole grains with no added fats or sugars, was based on a just add water family recipe that Joel had sold door to door as a child. They presented a well-prepared pitch and had strong answers for every question the Sharks threw at them. In the year leading up to their appearance, Kodiak Cakes had done $2.5 million in sales and secured a deal with Target to sell nationwide. They projected growing the company to $20 million in 4 years. They wanted the Sharks to help pay for what is known as slotting fees, which are payments made to retailers to secure specific shelf space for their products. The Sharks weren't fans of this strategy. Kevin believed that Cameron and Joel had way overvalued their company and said he'd only invest if he could take 50% equity. Robert then offered $500,000 for 35%, which they also rejected. Lori passed because she simply didn't like pancakes. Mark Cuban praised them for their business acumen, but wasn't willing to deal with future challenges. Kevin and Barbara then teamed up to offer $500,000 for 50%, which Cameron and Joel refused without countering, standing firm in their valuation. They left the tank without a deal, but Mark and Lori both said they were smart for making that decision. The exposure from the show proved to be valuable enough. Target stores sold out Kodiak Cake products after the episode aired. The company also launched its new line of protein-enhanced mixes to coincide with the airing of their episode, which also sold out. In just 6 weeks, the company made $1 million in sales. Over the years, Kodiak expanded their product range, responding to health trends, introducing keto-friendly low-carb mixes, as well as more of their popular high-protein options. By 2020, the company was valued at $200 million, was stocked in over 26,000 stores, and became an official food of Weight Watchers. In 2021, private equity firm L. Catterton acquired Kodiak Cakes in a rumored $800 million deal, bringing in actor Zac Efron as chief brand officer and new board member. As a longtime fan of Kodiak, Zac appeared in comedic promo videos for the brand and helped drive its popularity to new heights. Nowadays, Kodiak Cakes is a household name and has legions of loyal customers all over the world. Bedjet. Former spacesuit engineer Mark Ramley entered the Shark Tank seeking $250,000 for 10% of his company, Bedjet, which makes heating and cooling systems for beds. The Bedjet used air to quickly cool or warm either side of a bed, offering personalized temperature control in seconds. The Sharks were all initially intrigued, with Mark Cuban, Lori, and Robert all getting into the bed for a demonstration. However, when asked about sales, Ramley revealed that the Bedjet was still 6 weeks out from going into production. In other words, there were no sales yet. Lori was still interested, but because the other Sharks were all shouting over each other, her questions got ignored. Then she abruptly said she was out of frustration. The remaining Sharks all dismissed the product because it was too expensive at its current price point of $500. Before Ramley had a chance to tell the Sharks about his pending deals with retailers, they cut him off and reiterated that they were all out. Ramley had no choice but to exit without finishing his full pitch. Bedjet's segment was pretty rough. When the episode aired, Kevin tweeted, "This guy is out of his mind. I predict a very slow and painful death for a lot of money." However, the drama may have worked in Bedjet's favor, because the day after the episode aired, Mattress Firm, the largest mattress retailer in the US, announced their partnership with the company. Within days, Bedjet secured deals with Bed Bath & Beyond and gained even more traction through segments on daytime TV shows and positive reviews from numerous publications like TechCrunch and Wired. It also received endorsements from doctors and professional athletes. Sales started taking off, especially on Amazon, and by the end of 2020, Bedjet had sold 100,000 units. To celebrate the milestone, Aramli wrote a press release and took the chance to throw shade at the Sharks. The Sharks would have made 20 times their investment with Bedjet so far, and our team is incredibly grateful to have been one of the big deals that got away from the tank. Now in its third iteration, the Bedjet 3, the company has reportedly surpassed $335 million in lifetime sales. The Lip Bar. Melissa Butler and Roscoe Spears entered the Shark Tank seeking $125,000 for 20% of their cosmetics company, the Lip Bar. What set their products apart was the vegan organic ingredients and lipstick that came in a variety of unconventional colors. Melissa handmade the lipsticks, and they had recently launched an app that allowed customers to create custom shades, aiming to cater to all skin tones. The Lip Bar had only done $8,000 of sales in the last month, and were also hoping to launch a mobile lip bar for customers to be able to try on different colored lipstick in person. The Sharks were not impressed. Kevin was particularly harsh.
I can see a massive market share in the clown market. If anybody thought you could sell purple or green lipstick, they do it. They already have the shelf space. They just add another color. And they would crush you like the colorful cockroaches you are. You only have so many minutes on Earth. Don't waste them trying to sell lipstick.
Robert and Mark both didn't like the theme of the branding and backed out. Damon didn't think the product was unique enough, and Laurie felt that there was already too much competition in the cosmetics market. None of the Sharks made an offer. It was one of the show's more brutal rejections, and overall, the segment was a tough watch. Melissa and Roscoe didn't allow themselves to be discouraged. They took Robert and Mark's advice and revamped their branding. Melissa reached out to Target buyers on LinkedIn and eventually managed to get the Lip Bar onto Target's website in 2016, then into physical stores in February 2018. In July 2018, the Lip Bar received its first outside investment from Unilever's The New Voices Fund. The amount was undisclosed. The brand began to gain a loyal following, and its bold colors were being worn by celebrities and influencers. In 2019, the Lip Bar opened up its flagship store in Detroit, Michigan, Melissa and Roscoe's hometown. In 2022, the company marked its 10-year anniversary by putting up billboards celebrating its resilience. Shark Tank told me to quit. 10 years and 2 million units sold. Thanks, Mr. Wonderful. The billboards generated more press for the company. Kevin even went on a radio show to walk back his own harsh words and say he was proud of Melissa and Roscoe.
I'm proud of them for taking the heat. I'm proud that they're entrepreneurs and successful. It's a wonderful thing to see that happen. Mm-hmm. But they were facing an almost impossible task, because going into the cosmetics industry is so difficult to get market share, but they pulled it off. So look, you gotta applaud them. There's no question about it.
Today, the Lip Bar is stocked in over 5,000 stores, including Target, CVS, and Walmart, generating more than $5 million in annual revenue. The company is now valued at over $30 million. Rocketbook. Joe Epstein and Jake LeMay entered Shark Tank seeking $400,000 for 10% of their company, Rocketbook. Their product, a reusable notebook designed for the digital age, allowed users to write with pen and paper as usual, then scan their notes with the Rocketbook app to save them to cloud storage. Its most unique feature was the pages that could be erased and reused by sticking it in the microwave with a mug of water. Rocketbook had already sold 75,000 units, translating to $2.2 million in sales. But the Sharks weren't convinced. Barbara, Robert, and Laurie all dismissed the product as a gimmick and were all out straight away. Mark appreciated the technological innovation, but couldn't see the long-term vision and was out. Kevin, shamelessly greedy as always, criticized the business model of a product meant to be sold only once. He also pointed out that you could buy a regular old notebook for $1 instead of a $27 reusable notebook. Joe and Jake were pretty much laughed out of the tank. But after the episode aired, the Rocketbook became the #1 selling product on Amazon in the notebooks category. The company also launched its new Everlast notebook, which could be erased with water instead of heat. The crowdfunding campaign for Everlast raised over $2.5 million in total, making it the most crowdfunded office product at the time. Rocketbook products also made their way into shelves of major stores like Best Buy, Office Depot, Staples, and Target. By the end of 2018, the company had sold over 500,000 notebooks and generated more than $10 million in revenue. Then in 2020, stationery giant Bic purchased Rocketbook for $40 million. Vibes earplugs. Jackson Mann entered Shark Tank seeking $100,000 for 20% equity in his company Vibes. His high-fidelity earplugs were designed for live music lovers. Unlike traditional foam earplugs that block out sound entirely, Vibes lowered the volume while preserving sound clarity. The earplugs were reusable, washable, and nearly invisible when worn. Jackson demonstrated the effectiveness of his earplugs by distributing them to the Sharks and bringing in a live brass band to perform. Even the band members wore the earplugs. The Sharks were impressed. However, when Jackson revealed that he had only done $30,000 in sales in 5 months via his website, the Sharks were underwhelmed. Mark, who owns an arena, could see the value in this product, but felt they should be given away as freebies at venues, so he was out. Chris Sacca and Laurie thought the product was too hard to sell since it wasn't available where people actually needed it. Barbara didn't believe in Jackson's sales skills and passed. Surprisingly, Kevin turned out to be an everyday earplug user and carried around a competitor brand with him at all times. He said he liked the discreet, clear plastic design of the Vibes earplugs and made an offer, stipulating he would not be open to a negotiation. $100,000 for 35% of the company, plus a $2 royalty per pair sold until he recouped his investment. Jackson said he was never going to entertain a royalty offer and walked out of the tank with no deal. But the Shark Tank effect did its thing, and within a few days after the episode aired, Vibes earplugs sold out and remained on backorder for months. By 2017, Vibes had hit $2 million in sales and expanded its market beyond concert goers. The earplugs became popular with all kinds of people who wanted to protect their hearing or quieten their surroundings. The company had also started giving back, with a portion of every sale being donated to the Hear the World Foundation. Most recent sales figures showed that Vibes had reportedly made over $11 million in lifetime sales. Soap socks. In October 2014, Ray Phillips and Alvin Newey asked the Sharks for $260,000 for a 10% equity stake in their company, Soap Socks. Their product was a washcloth designed for kids that combined a terry cloth plush toy with a built-in sponge to make bath time fun and engaging. In 6 months, they had already made $250,000 in sales and were in talks with department store chain Nordstrom, projecting $2.4 million in sales for the following year. While the Sharks liked the concept, Mark and Robert weren't excited enough to invest, and Kevin felt that the $20 price point was too high. Laurie was concerned about the patent pending status and also backed out. Damon offered $260,000 but for 33% equity, much higher than Ray and Alvin's initial ask. They countered with $350,000 for 15%, but Damon wouldn't budge. Then to everyone's surprise, Laurie and Robert were back in and offered $1 million to buy the entire company outright. But Ray and Alvin were very passionate about their product and told the Sharks that this venture was about more than just money. They declined both offers. After leaving the tank, they took the Sharks' advice and found a way to lower their manufacturing costs and retail prices. In February 2016, they secured licensing deals with major children's brands like Disney Baby, Sesame Street, and Paw Patrol. Soap Socks also became available in Target stores until March 2023. The company is still going strong through online sales, generating an estimated $8 to $10 million in sales annually. Doorbot. Last but not least, we have the biggest miss in Shark Tank history, Doorbot. Jamie Siminoff sought $700,000 for 10% equity in his company and invention, Doorbot, the world's first Wi-Fi-enabled video doorbell that allowed people to see and speak to their home's visitors through their smartphones. Jamie described it as caller ID for your front door. Doorbot launched just 9 months ago, selling only through its online store, and had already made an impressive $1 million in sales. The company was currently in talks to expand into Staples stores, and at a $200 price point, Jamie believed that Doorbot could be an accessible security solution for households everywhere. The concept was solid, and Jamie's demonstration showed that the tech worked well, but the sharks weren't convinced. Laurie and Damon didn't think the product was unique enough. Mark doubted that it could scale to become a multi-million-dollar company, and Robert was concerned the device wasn't secure enough. Kevin was the only interested shark and offered $700,000 for 5% equity, but with a 10% royalty on all sales, dropping to 7% after he recouped his investment. Jamie didn't want to lose 10% of his revenue in perpetuity, so he countered with $700,000 at a 10% interest rate and 3% equity. Kevin declined.
It's that moment when I say you're dead to me.
At the time of filming, Jamie was nearly bankrupt. He had poured everything into Doorbot, working out of his garage, and had already been rejected by countless investors. The Shark Tank rejection was particularly painful, as he had spent months and $20,000 preparing for the pitch. But the exposure from the show changed Jamie's life. After his segment aired, Doorbot saw an estimated $3 million spike in sales. Then in September 2014, Doorbot rebranded to Ring. Jamie continued to hustle, personally delivering and installing rings for prominent people in the tech industry. Ring became available on QVC at one point, earning $22.5 million in a single 24-hour period. Eventually, billionaire business mogul Richard Branson came across Ring, and in 2015 invested $28 million into the company. In 2017, Goldman Sachs invested a further $107 million. Ring expanded to major retail stores around the world and became a ubiquitous piece of home security technology. Just 4 years after his initial Shark Tank appearance, Jamie Siminoff returned to the show, this time as a shark, and has since appeared several more times on the show as a guest shark. In 2018, Amazon acquired Ring for an estimated $1 billion, making it their second largest acquisition at the time. Jamie remains CEO until 2023. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.